Hello again. It's me, Casey, and welcome back to another episode of Steamy Stories, written by JC Calciano. Some of you may have noticed our new tip jar feature. Fans have been asking how they could show us some love, and we certainly appreciate that. If you're inclined to help us keep Steamy Stories going, or just show us how much you appreciate what we're doing, we certainly are grateful for your support and generosity. Now, that said, let's get on with it. Today's Steamy Stories episode is about a Baywatch Bro. It was the first day of summer, and Dane couldn't be more excited to be going to work. Not because he had a great job, because he didn't. But it was because he would get to see Lawrence, the super hot lifeguard at the beach where he worked. Dane was an 18-year-old native Californian. His mixed ethnic background gave him a dark, adorable appearance, and his large, light brown eyes contrasted spectacularly with his rich, dark hair. His slight frame and youthful looks made him fall more in the adorable category, rather than the hunky category that Lawrence fell solidly into. Dane's job was to cook at the burger stand at the beach, where Lawrence was the head lifeguard. He first saw Lawrence last year, when he started the job. Lawrence and his buddy, another lifeguard, had dined regularly at the stand where Dane worked. Lawrence's body was tight, trim, and golden from sitting in the sun. He had a long torso covered with the ideal amount of hair and a handsome, masculine face. While the two lifeguards would sit nearby at lunch, both shirtless, wearing only their skimpy red shorts, Dane would steal glances at the men. Often, Lawrence would catch him looking at him, and Dane's bashful grin and a hasty return to his job usually followed their eyes meeting. Lawrence wouldn't order anything from the stand, unlike his companion, Cole, who was the younger of the two lifeguards. Cole would regularly order a double-decker burger, chili fries, and a Coke. Dane looked forward to lunchtime when they'd come by to dine. As hard as he tried to pay attention to his work, he found it impossible to keep his eyes off the two sun-drenched hunks sitting a mere 15 feet away. He was never formally introduced to Lawrence, since it was always Cole who ordered his food from Dane, but all the same, he knew that Lawrence was the perfect guy for him. Well, the summer ended, and Dane went back to school, hoping that when he returned to the burger stand, Lawrence would once again be the head lifeguard, and perhaps this was the year he'd finally get to meet him. The winter was now over, and a new summer was upon them. Would Lawrence be the lifeguard again? Dane couldn't wait to find out. It was the 4th of July weekend, and the first day back on the job. And due to the heat spell, the beach was surprisingly busy. It was barely noon when Dane received a call in his kitchen. "Hi, is this the burger stand? I'm calling from the lifeguard stand." Dane had never heard Lawrence speak. Could it be him? The deep, sexy, masculine timbre of his voice instantly made Dane weak in the knees. "Yes, this is the burger stand. Can I help you?" "Hi. Yes, I was wondering, did you work there last summer?" Dane's heart skipped. His voice cracked as he quickly answered, "Yup. That's me. Did you say you were the lifeguard? Dane tried to keep his cool. Yep, I'm Lawrence. I was wondering, A pause seemed to indicate that the voice on the other end of the phone suddenly forgot why he called. A quick recovery asked the question, Do you deliver? Dane didn't expect that question. No one had ever asked him to deliver before. The voice on the phone continued, clearly picking up on the pause and change of pitch in Dane's voice. Well, it's tough for me to leave the lifeguard booth. The budget cuts at the beach mean that I'm the only one working the afternoon shifts right now. I was wondering if maybe you could come by and bring some food? Dane paused and answered, Well, I guess, since you're only 100 feet away, I could hang a back in 5 minutes sign out and carry it over. The voice on the other end of the phone was kind, sweet, and very excited. You'll bring it over? That would be wonderful. How could I say no to this sexy hunk of a man? Heck, I've been fantasizing about seeing him all winter. I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to meet him. Sure, I'll bring it by. What would you like? Another pause, as if he wasn't sure what to order, and then he quickly asked for a double burger, chili fries, and a Coke. Dane quickly finished preparing the food and lovingly packed it to go. He then placed a back in 5 minutes sign on the door as he headed over to the lifeguard stand. The sun was brilliant. The hot sand felt delightful as it slipped through Dane's flip-flops. And as Dane approached the weathered wooden booth, he could see a hulking silhouette standing shirtless at the edge of the railing's overlook. Without warning, as if he knew he was being watched, the man turned to see Dane standing at the far end of the entrance ramp. The man cast an impressive figure as the warm wind blew his hair and the bright sun engulfed his barely clad body. Other than his official red trunks, he wore nothing but a whistle. The lifeguard turned and smiled as he asked, Are you Dane? It's so nice to meet you finally. Is that the food? Dane nodded. The sight of this sexy lifeguard rendered him speechless. Dane was thrilled that this was indeed the stud he lusted for last summer. Lawrence made his way down from his watchtower. I remember you from last year. I visited your stand with my buddy while he ate lunch. Dane wasn't sure what to say. His mind kept repeating, Play it cool. Oh, play it cool. Don't be a dork. Yup. That was me. Here's your food. Lawrence took the package and drink while reaching for his small canvas wallet to pay. Awesome. What do I owe you? $10 will do it, Dane answered, as he could feel himself slightly overheating as he took in the sight of Lawrence glistening in the sun. He could now smell the zinc and suntan lotion that covered the lifeguard's face and body. The combination of smells, plus his sweat and the salt water, made Dane even more turned on. Lawrence looked him squarely in the eyes as he handed him $20. I don't need change. Consider it a delivery fee. I appreciate you bringing this by. The two young men stood there a seemingly impossibly long time before Dane answered, not a problem. Thanks for the tip. Anytime you want lunch, just let me know. Lawrence thought a second and then replied, how about tomorrow? Could you bring the same order by tomorrow? Dane answered, Sure, I could do that. I better get back now. Like you, I'm the only one working and I shouldn't leave my post. Lawrence suddenly looked alarmed. Shoot! Yes, me too. I'm a lifeguard. I'm on duty. He laughed at himself, both embarrassed and amused. For the next 2 months, like clockwork, Dane brought Lawrence his lunch, all the time stealing a few moments to gaze upon him, before signaling that he had arrived with the food. Lawrence would run down the ramp from the lifeguard stand, smile, grab the food, and return to his post. The two men barely had enough time to exchange pleasantries. Well, the end of the summer approached. Soon the concession stand would close for the winter, and the crowds would be gone. Even though it was almost fall, the day was an unusual scorcher. The temperatures broke records, as did the attendance at the beach. Dane tried to get ahead of his orders, but the crowds were too much for him to handle. It seemed that half the town was at the beach that day, and everyone was hungry. Finally, late in the afternoon, he was able to slip away for a few minutes to take Lawrence's lunch. Is he still hungry? He wondered. I hope he still wants the food. He's probably just as busy as I am today. Dane quickly packed up the burger, fries, and Coke and rushed to the lifeguard stand. As he approached the stand, he noticed something was different today. He could see the handsome man standing at attention at the viewing platform was someone other than Lawrence. As he ascended the ramp, the man called out in a stern voice, "You can't come up here. Lifeguards only." Dane decided to be polite to the rude lifeguard. "I'm from the burger stand. I'm here bringing Lawrence his lunch. I guess he's not working today?" "Oh, well, you still can't come up here," he repeated, but this time with a softer, more forgiving tone. "He's here. Today was insane, so they called me in a few hours earlier to help him out. I'm Rolf." "What should I do with Lawrence's lunch? I'm super sorry I'm late bringing it by. Things got crazy at the burger stand today." Rolf kept his eyes on the water for swimmers in trouble. Without even glancing back towards Dane, he instructed, "Just toss it in the bin. He never eats it anyway. I have no clue why he even orders it." Dane grew angry. Not only was it a waste of food, but his time as well. Why would he make him cook it, then cross the hot sand to bring it to him every day when he's only going to toss it in the trash? Rolf continued, "Lawrence is with that couple over there. She swam too far out. He'll be right back." From Dane's vantage point, he could see him kneeling over a young woman, helping her regain her composure from a harrowing experience. He was wet and out of breath from swimming out quickly and towing the young woman back. Dane rethought whether this was the time and place to confront him. Maybe he shouldn't make a scene, but hell, he wanted answers. Just as he contemplated whether or not he should leave, Lawrence got up and walked back to the lifeguard stand. Dane almost forgot just how angry he was at him. There was no denying that he enjoyed watching every step of this muscular, sexy man walking towards him. His wet, tight lifeguard shorts clung to his body, revealing what a healthy and impressive man he was. Dane was hypnotized by the way his abs, shoulders, and chest moved as he walked towards him. Nope, he wasn't going anywhere until he got to watch this hulking stud walk up to him so that he could confront him about what was going on. Lawrence excitedly greeted him with his dripping, wet golden hair and stupid, sparkling blue eyes. "Hello, did you bring the food by? Thanks so much. Dane held his composure as he stood his ground and asserted, I brought your lunch and left it with Rolf. It'll be $10. Lawrence was surprised by Dane's unexpected behavior. He had brought the same order by for 2 months now, and every time Lawrence gave him $20. Why was he now being so curt and formal? Let me get my wallet, Lawrence replied before inquiring. Is everything okay? You seem upset. I'm glad you asked that, Dane stated as he stood firm in his position. Rolf told me you never eat the food you order. In fact, you just toss it in the trash. Do you have any idea what a hassle it is for me to cook it and bring it over to you every day? Lawrence instantly looked like a scolded puppy. His eyes were sad and his head hung in shame. It was apparent he was playing some sort of game, and now he was busted. I'm so sorry. You're right. It was terrible for me to do that to you. I apologize. Dane felt better after the apology, but still the question remained. Why did he do it? Dane further inquired as to the reason he ordered lunch every day just to toss it in the bin. Lawrence did his best to make eye contact with Dane, but he couldn't look him directly in the face. I asked you to come by every day in hopes of asking you out. Day after day you stop by, but we never really got a minute to talk. I never got to ask you out on a date. Dane burst out in disbelief. You're kidding me. Lawrence's face revealed that he was serious. Dane, still not convinced, simply stated, Well, if you want to go out with me, all you have to do is ask. Lawrence looked up from the sand with a surprisingly bashful gaze. What about tonight? When are you done at the grill? Maybe we could get a drink so I could properly say, I'm sorry? Dane smiled as he did his best to play it cool. I'm not done until sunset. Lawrence was quick to reply. My shift is over at 4, but I'll hang out and wait for you. Why don't you meet me at the lifeguard stand when you're done? Dude, what are you doing? I need you here on patrol. Rolf yelled across the beach. Both Lawrence and Dane realized the time and how long they'd been away from their posts. I've got to get back to the grill now, but yes, after work, I'll stop by the lifeguard stand to see you. See you then, Lawrence replied with a big smile. Dane couldn't believe he had landed a date this evening. He rushed back to the grill to finish up his day and clean as quickly as he could. Closing time couldn't come quickly enough. The afternoon was gone, and sunset approached. No more customers at the grill, and Dane finished up his work early. He did his best to tidy himself up after a long day flipping burgers, and locked up. Dane made his way through the sand and up to the lifeguard stand. As he reached the top of the plank, he could see that the large viewing window was closed, but the door was slightly open. He called out to Lawrence as he cautiously entered the small wooden room atop the stilts. Inside the booth hung twinkling colored lights. A makeshift bar was built in the corner, and an assortment of fresh fruits covered a floral tablecloth. Lawrence wore an open button-down shirt and surfer shorts. I hope you like rum and tacky tiki decorations. Lawrence chuckled as he opened the viewing window of the booth. There's nothing more beautiful than the ocean at sunset. I thought you might enjoy the view from up here. Just listen to those waves. Is this always like this in here? Dane asked, trying to make sense of the adorable decorations and colored lights. Is my lifeguard booth a bar? Yeah, they'd kill me if they saw this. I just thought that after you worked all day in a hot kitchen, the cool ocean air and a refreshing cocktail would be nice. Dane was shocked and delighted at the thought and effort Lawrence put into their date. Get you a cocktail? He asked. Dane shook his head no. As he replied flirtatiously, there's only one thing I want on these lips right now, and that's you. Lawrence laughed as he put down his daiquiri. He was all too stoked to comply. Both of the men agreed. The drinks could wait. Word of mouth is an awesome way to spread the word about the podcast. A simple post on Facebook or Twitter is hugely important in helping us out. So, if you are enjoying these titillating tales, share them with a friend, or give us a quick rating on Apple or Spotify. Your support is greatly appreciated. And if you decide to buy us a coffee by following our link in the description, well, we especially thank you for your generosity. Steamy Stories is written by JC Calciano and narrated by, well, yours truly. You can find Steamy Stories Podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Steamy Podcast. Make sure to come back next month for another Steamy Story. Later, bro.